We're here at Transition Bikes to learn more about the regulators from the marketing director, Sky.
Yeah, thanks for coming on down, and glad you get out on the trails today.
Awesome, thanks so much. Yeah, it's been a blast to review the bikes. It's a really exciting new eMTB platform. So wondered if you could tell us a little bit about what your all's goals were in creating it.
Yeah, so the kind of what we went into the regulator with was creating the ultimate electrified all-mountain trail bike. And so we've had bikes in our lineups. We've had e-bikes in our lineup that are more of the enduro side of trail riding, longer travel, longer geometry, slacker, that sort of thing. And so we really wanted to put a bike squarely in that ride everyday trail bike, good on trails that are flatter, good on trails that are still have some aggressive, moves to them, that sort of thing, but a little bit more of a versatile do-it-all platform. And so we came up with the regulator, and we offer it in 2 different motors and 2 different battery sizes.
Cool. Really awesome to see Bosch e-bike systems being used on the new regulators. Could you talk a little bit about what made you all decide to go with those drive units and batteries?
Yeah, the biggest thing with Bosch is the reliability and support worldwide. So yeah, we sell bikes worldwide, and Bosch is one of those brands that has support and parts everywhere, and they really have legendary reliability. And that really aligns with Transition, kind of our brand and brand ethos. We have a lifetime warranty on our frames, and we really, most paramount is our support of our customers. And so to align with the brand and install a motor on our bikes that kind of has that same level of support and reliability in the market was huge for us.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. It's awesome. It comes in 2 flavors. You've got the lightweight, agile Regulator SX, and then you've got the full power Regulator CX. When you're talking to a rider and they can't decide which of the 2 bikes to go with, how do you think about making that decision?
Yeah, so the reason why we went with 2 is we have really noticed kind of like a bit of a division in the e-bike world and what people are after for their experience. And we wanted to make the regulator available for really any sort of e-bike rider. And so the Regulator CX is more of our classic higher power, bigger battery e-bike. And so this is longer range, a lot more sporty. It really takes you up the hill with almost no effort. And it's that heavier characteristic that comes along with that does change its descending characteristics. We still think it descends really, really well. But on the other side, the SX, this is for the person that really wants the most natural ride experience, almost like a little boost from their non-electrified bike. And so like for me personally, that's what I'm after when I go out on the ride, is like I do want the help of the e-motor system to do either more laps or a faster lap, that sort of thing. But I really almost want to not know that I'm on an e-bike most of the time. And so my advice for people when going into their decision making is, what's most important to you on this ride? Is it keeping up with the highest power, biggest battery e-bikes on the market that your buddies may have? Then the CX is really going to be the one you need to have. And it is a different experience. The up is really exhilarating, and it has a longer range. So if you're looking for those big rides, and then the SX being that natural feel, it allows for a bit more trail nuance, with pumping and jumping, to where I feel like I can do the same sort of riding I do on my non-electric bike. The really cool thing about the Bosch system is that both of these can have the Power More range extender. It adds 250 watt hours to each bike. And so the 600 watt hour battery that comes standard in the CX, Regulator CX, goes up to 850, which is a ridiculous amount of power. I mean, my arms would give out before I could ever ride that much. And then on the SX, going up from 400 watt hours is the standard in the frame battery to 650 really puts it on par with a lot of other bikes on the market. And so we purposely chose those battery sizes, the ones housed in the frame, because it allows you a lot of flexibility to fit a lot of different riding circumstances. And so that's where, like for me, I ride an SX, it has the 400 watt hour battery. That works for 99% of my rides, and that's what I want. I want to take my battery from full to nearly empty every single ride, because that means I'm doing the most efficient use of the weight that I'm choosing to ride. And then I have a battery range extender for the times I really want to go farther, maybe keep up with some people on bigger capacity batteries, that sort of thing. And so the key is that we looked at basically the range of uses and tried to fit what comes standard in the frame and what's available aftermarket to fit the full spectrum.
Great. I saw that you're riding the SX, and you mentioned you have a power extender. Has the range or range anxiety kind of met your expectations? How has it been in like day-to-day use?
Yeah, so I think one key is that for me personally, I'm like a lunch laps person.
Right.
Like maybe an after work or lunch lap type ride, that's my most common use. And
Yeah.
so I really chose the bike that works the best for my most common riding scenario, which is, getting tired of writing emails.
2 hour ride,
And I'm
yeah.
like, I have 1 hour to ride, 2 hours to ride, and I never have range anxiety for that amount of
Yeah,
time.
makes sense.
Now, if someone asked me to go do a backcountry epic and we were going to do 30 miles and 10,000 feet, I'd probably actually just take my, analog bike and just go pedal and enjoy my time in the outdoors that way. So I knew going in that the SX with a smaller battery wasn't going to be that bike, but it would be the bike that does 99% of my rides.
Yeah.
The Regulator CX on the flip side, you had that option, you're riding in a low power mode, you can do a huge day.
Cool.
Yeah.
Both bikes have 64.5 degree head angle, side-specific chainstays. Seem like they really promote a nice balanced fore-aft position, and just like you mentioned, a comfortable balance between climbing and descending. Could you talk a little bit more about ride quality or things that you've noticed with your bike?
Yeah, totally. So I think the biggest thing with e-bikes specifically is you have the weight that's there no matter what.
Right.
And it's the choices that Transition can make in our geo leverage curve, those sorts of things are what determine how you move the weight. And so for both of these bikes, the weight is as low and central as possible. And we've coupled that with a really progressive leverage curve that actually allows the leverage curve to support the bike's weight and make maneuvering easy. And so it also doesn't have like super long chain stays. The head-to angle being a little steeper than our other e-bikes in our lineup makes it really nimble and quick to move. So if you want to change directions, if you want to, play on a route or a jump or whatever, it's all very natural and happens almost without changing your kinematics of what you're doing much. I kind of think about it in like, how much work do I have to put into, manual or jump my analog bike? And do I have to go beyond that spectrum to do that on these bikes? And it's not. Like, I feel like I ride naturally. It's just, where I manual, where I jump, those sorts of things are all the same on the regulators. And that's all due to the geo and kinematics being built specifically for it.
It's also got a sweet spec. I'm riding the XT Regulator SX today, and just across the board noticed that there isn't really anything that I would change out. Like it rides amazingly, it's super comfortable, and it was really intuitive and straightforward to get set up and get going. Just feel like it is a really intentional setup, and I wonder if you could talk a little bit about the powerful brakes, the short cranks, some of the interesting things that I noticed in the spec sheet.
Yeah, totally. One of the kind of key pillars here at Transition is all of us are mountain bikers. A lot of us used to be dirtbag, living out of the parking lot, with $0 to our name. And we really care about the sport and love the sport. And so even though e-bikes are a new thing to this world and they're really awesome, we still are trying to do it in a way that's affordable and make that barrier to entry as low as possible. Now, there's no way around that they're expensive. I mean, it's impossible to do. But we do our best to make the spec choices exactly what a rider would need at any level of our builds to have a good time, to go out and shred their face off. And so I bought our entry level build, the Dior level SX, and I was able to just pull out of the box and go shred down hills and up hills, and there was nothing holding me back. And so that's kind of the key for us, is that there's nothing that we wouldn't ride ourselves. And fancier is always cooler, but we didn't go electronic shifting on this bike or any of those higher level builds that anyone could put on aftermarket.
Cool. Thanks, Guy.
Oh yeah, for sure.